I've walked over 1,000 kilometres of pilgrimage trails across Europe and the UK. That includes the Camino Frances and Finisterre in 2023 and the Camino Inglés in 2024. And this year, I'm walking the Camino Portugués. I've also walked beautiful pilgrim paths here in the UK, including St Cuthbert's Way and St Michael's Way and other ancient British routes that are full of history, peace and meaning. And each of these journeys has been beautiful. It's been challenging and transformative and full of surprises. So in this video, I wanted to share 10 unexpected challenges that pilgrims often face on the Camino de Santiago in particular. The kind of things I didn't see fully coming until I was deep into the journey. I'm Kate, by the way. Whether you are preparing for your first Camino or reflecting on the one you've already walked, I hope that this gives you some insight, encouragement, and maybe a few practical tips for your own pilgrimage walk. Let's begin. Number 1. Feeling pressurized to match someone else's itinerary. One of the most beautiful parts of the Camino is meeting people. But after a few days, you might find yourself walking someone else's pace, staying where they're staying and adjusting your rhythm to theirs. And that's all well and good, but if it doesn't quite fit in why you're there, or you can't help but thinking you need some reflection time, or you would like to walk further, or maybe not as far that day, you may need to gently let the other person or people group know. What helped me was learning to say, I'm going to walk my own pace today, but I really do hope that our paths cross again soon and perhaps keep in touch by WhatsApp. Most people understand this and often they're feeling the same way. Number 2, overuse injuries beyond blisters. Everyone talks about blisters and yes, they are real, but hopefully you'll avoid these with great shoes and good foot care. But what I didn't expect was the shin splints that I got near Leon on the Camino Frances, and I had no idea how painful that they could be. And this is an example of an overuse injury that can creep up very quickly and quietly. And what helped me was slowing down and taking a couple of days rest. And now, with hindsight, I would also take shorter days when I feel that I needed them rather than pushing through. Other things that you could try is switching into sandals every now and again, and you can also even send your bag ahead. And that small act of kindness to your body can help make all the difference and help it to recover enough for you to continue on your Camino. Number 3, hiker hunger. For the first week or two, my appetite was pretty normal. And in fact, I didn't even really feel the need for much lunch. But then suddenly it was like my body realized how much fuel it actually needed, and I was hungry all the time. And that is totally normal. Your body is catching up to the energy demands of walking 20 to 30 kilometers a day. And what helped was prioritizing protein. So things like eggs, tuna, nuts, beans, and cheese. And I also started carrying snacks in my pack, and I never felt guilty about having a second breakfast. Okay, number 4, daily wine can backfire. One of the unique joys of the Camino is that wine is often included with dinner, and at first it feels like such a treat and all part of the experience. But the potential problem with daily drinking, even just a glass or two, is that it can affect your sleep, energy, and even mood, as well as contribute towards dehydration. If you find that wine every day is just not helping you, what you can choose to do is only drink wine in a special moment, perhaps with a special meal or on a rest day. Otherwise, it's so important to rehydrate and eat well and let your body recover. Number 5, it's hard to find alone time. You'd think that walking solo on the Camino would guarantee solitude, but between shared dorms, busy cafes, chatty trail sections, alone time can actually be more rare than you think, particularly on more busy routes like the Camino Frances. And some days I found myself craving silence and stillness. So what helps with this is starting really early in the day, perhaps walking the first hour in quiet before sunrise, or even leaving a little later than most other people later in the day. And this means that for the first hour or two on the trail, you can can pretty much have it to yourself, even in busy sections. And you might even consider taking a detour off the main trail, just a short one, to be with nature and listen to the birds and reconnect with why you're there. Oh, by the way, if you're enjoying this video, I'd love it if you just hit that subscribe button and help me grow this channel. I share stories and reflections from my pilgrimages and hikes, both in Europe and here in the UK. Your support really helps me keep creating these videos for fellow pilgrims and hikers. Thank you. Now, let's go back to the trail. Number 6. Stressing over finding a bed. Around 11 a.m, it's quite early for me, or noon each day, I would start feeling a little anxious. Will I have a bed tonight? Where will I be sleeping? And during the busier months and in places that have been labelled as end of a stage in the popular guidebooks, it can be harder to get a bed, and the bed race can steal some of the joy from the walk. So what helped me was actually booking ahead. And I didn't do it every day, but I did it particularly in popular towns. I also kept a backup list of nearby albergues or guest houses in case I needed other options. And then that peace of mind helped me slow down again and enjoy my walk. Number 7. Emotional waves you really didn't expect. There's something about walking all day, every day, with time to think and reflect that actually brings up old emotions and memories to the surface. And this is actually quite normal. I think when you're walking, you can get kind of into a meditative state and the mind is free to think about things. So some people find that journaling during their Camino or even chatting with another pilgrim can be really helpful. So these moments can actually bring clarity, and it's actually all part of the inner work that the Camino gently invites. Number 8. Comparing yourself to other pilgrims. Now, this one surprised me. You see people walking huge distances, carrying almost nothing, or people that seem so confident and experienced, and you start to wonder, am I doing this right? But here's what I've learned. There is no right way to walk the Camino. Your pace, your pack, your purpose, they're all valid. And just because your Camino looks different, it doesn't make it any less meaningful than someone else's. Number 9, waiting for a spiritual high that never actually really comes. So before my first Camino, I imagined this big spiritual epiphany, some sort of clarity or awakening. But what I experienced instead was quiet, repetition, moments of connection and beauty, yes, but also just walking. And that is totally okay. Often the transformation happens afterwards, or it kind of happens without you really realizing it in the moment. If you don't feel a great insight during the walk, trust that something is still unfolding, because it will be. Okay, number 10, the hardest part. Going home. I did not expect how hard it would be to let go of the Camino. When I reached Finisterre, I sat by the sea and I watched the sun set and the moon rise in the same evening. And I had reached the end of the world. And it was in that moment I knew it was time to return to my family, to community, to work, and to my ordinary life. But I wasn't returning empty-handed. I was bringing the Camino with me in my heart, in my rhythm, and in how I move through the world. And I knew that I would be back. Maybe not to that exact same Camino path, but I would be back to pilgrimage. So those are my 10 unexpected challenges and what helped me walk through them. What are yours? Please share them below.